Welcome to the Math Crew, where we learn new things and grow in mathematics. I'm Miss Nisha, your math teacher. Let's get started. Today we're going to practice adding fractions with unlike denominators. This is an extended lesson, so we're going to have several examples using this skill. If you'd like to see the mini lesson, that's another video on the channel. Our first problem is 1/2 plus 1/4. If you notice, our denominators are different, hence the title and our target, adding with unlike denominators. All right, so in order to solve this, we have to first list our common multiples of the denominator. So what I mean by that is we're going to take the 2, we're going to take the 4, 2 is our denominator and 4 is our denominator. We're going to take those denominators and list their multiples. Let's read. Adding fractions with unlike denominators. First, find the least common multiple, the LCM, of all denominators in the equation. Next, create equivalent fractions with the common denominator. Lastly, add the fractions. These are the steps we're going to complete in order to get our sum. So let's take 2, let's take 4, let's list their multiples. Always start with 2 times 1. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I'm going to stop there because I already have 4 here, but let's move on and list the multiples of our second denominator, and then I'll explain. We have 4, put your colon. 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 4 times 3 is 12, 4 times 4 is, very good, 16, and 4 times 5 is, hopefully you said, 20. All right, I tell most students to write at least 5 to 6 of their multiples, but whichever, the amount your teacher tells you, then that's the amount that you do. So I see that the LCM is going to be 4. When we say least common multiple, we're talking about the multiple that is the smallest one that's within these two lists. The smallest multiple that they share, the number that they have in common. Hey, this looks a little messy, so let me write it this way. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. Okay, there we go. So up and down, you see right here that 4 is going to be our LCM. Now that we have that was step 1. Next, create equivalent fractions. We create an equivalent fraction when we have a denominator of 4. That is how many parts we're going to have in our whole. We're going to have 4 parts or 4 pieces. We already have fourths right here. So we don't need an equivalent fraction for 1/4. We need an equivalent fraction for 1/2. That's the fraction that we'll be creating an equivalent for. All right, let's do that. All right, 1/2. If you're using notebook paper, 1/2. And we write a multiplication sign and we make a rectangle. And then we insert our new denominator. And we said that the LCM was what number? Hopefully you wrote it down, the number 4. So we're going to have 4 parts. Now, you should have learned this in 4th grade how to generate an equivalent fraction. So you ask yourself, 2 times what gives me 4? Or you can also say 4 divided by what is 2. Either way, you're going to get the correct answer. 4 divided by 2 is 2. And when we're creating an equivalent fraction, we're basically multiplying by a fraction that equals 1 whole to get this equivalent. 2 over 2 is the same as 1 or 1 whole. Another thing to remember is whatever you do to one part of your fraction, you also have to do that same thing to the other part of your fraction. So if I'm going to multiply by 2 in a denominator, I must multiply by 2 in the numerator. These should be the exact same digits every time. 2 over 2 or whatever you get here, your computation, whatever numbers you get here, they must be the same 2 numbers. Okay. Now let's multiply going across. 1 times 2 is 2. So the equivalent fraction for 1/2 is 2/4. So instead of using 1/2, we're now going to use what? Very good, 2/4. All right, let's do that and solve. 2/4 plus 1/4 equals, now, final step, easy part. We know when we're multiplying fractions, we never add the denominators. Okay, we have 4 whole parts. That stays the same. We only add our numerators. 2 plus 1 is 3. So 1/2 plus 1/4 equals 3/4. Very good. Right, let's practice another problem. Remember, if you do have this mat, you can refer to the steps that are written at the bottom. Hopefully you have an anchor chart or some notes that your teacher has provided for you, and you can use that as well. Let's read. So we have, first, find the LCM of all the denominators. Next, create equivalent fractions with the common denominator. Lastly, add the fractions. Constantly reread your notes, review anchor charts, etc., so that you can get this stuff memorized. Okay? Math takes practice. Math takes practice. All right, this is our next equation, 2/3 plus 2/9. We're going to speed this up just a little. Step 1, let's find the LCM. 3, 9. We're going to list our multiples. 3, 6, 9. You can stop right now because the next denominator that you're going to list the multiples for would be 9. Okay, 9 will be the next one. So there's no need in listing out 5 or however many because it's right there. You know you're going to use the smallest multiple. Okay. Step 2, create what type of fractions? Equivalent. Very good. So which of these fractions needs an equivalent? 2/3 or 2/9? Which one do we need to change? Turn and talk to your neighbor. Pause the video. Hopefully you said 2/3. Excellent. Do we have 9 parts here? No. Okay, we said that our equivalent fraction is going to have 9 pieces. We only have thirds here. So let's generate an equivalent for 2/3 that will cause us to have 9 as our denominator. Again, you say 2/3 rectangle, 9 parts. 2/3 multiplication sign rectangle. What's the rectangle for? This is where you're going to put that fraction that equals 1 whole inside this rectangle. All right. 3 times what gives me 9, or 9 divided by what is 3? Hopefully you said 3. So we're going to multiply by 3 over 3. Now let's multiply going across. 2 times 3 is 6. So 2/3 is now what? Hopefully you said 6/9. Very good. 6/9. Now we have our new fraction. Since we have 9 parts here, our denominator is the same. Our denominators are the same. Let's go ahead and add. Are we supposed to add these? Do we add the denominators, or are we going to go from 9 parts to 18 parts? No. Excellent. No. These parts stay. Okay, we cannot change our parts. 9 parts. Now, let's add our numerator. 6 plus 2 is 8. We have 8 of 9 parts. Say you had a pie, there will be 8 of the 9 slices shaded in your pie. Okay, so we have 8/9. Great job. Let's try another one. This time, if you think you're ready, pause the video after I write the problem, you solve it, and then play the video to see if you have the correct answer. We have 2/12 plus 2/24. Again, step 1 is to list our multiples, right? 12, 24. Bam. I'm going to stop right there. Why am I going to stop? I already see the smallest one they have in common. It's going to be 24. That's my LCM. Then, after I have my LCM, I then create my equivalent fractions, right? Which fraction is an equivalent? 2/12 or 2/24? Hopefully you said 2/12, right? We have 12 parts. We need how many parts? 24. Great job. So let's create that equivalent. I'm going to take the 2/12 times what shape? Good, that rectangle. 24. All right, now ask yourself, 24 divided by 12 is what? Or 12 times what gives me 24? We're in 5th grade. We know our facts. 12 times 2 is 24. And whatever I do here, I have to do also in the numerator, right? Then we're going to say 2 times 2 is 4. So our equivalent is 4/24. Now let's solve. This is now 4/24. We're going to add our numerators. 4 plus 2 is 6. 24 stays the same. Never, ever, ever add or subtract those denominators. Final answer, 6/24. Hopefully you got that correct. If you haven't tried one on your own, go ahead and try one. Remember, just pause the video and give it a try. Our next problem is 9/10 plus 18/30. Step 1, we're going to find our LCM. LCM. If you're at home studying, a great way to study is to write the steps as you practice. So I have my students write S1 LCM. So we're finding LCM 10 and 20, 30, ding, 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 ding. We already have the LCM. Okay. I already can see that it's going to be 30. All right. Now let's create what? What type of fractions? Hopefully you said equivalent. Okay, looking at these two fractions, which one needs the equivalent? I'm going to use this pen just in case y'all can't see it clearly. Hopefully you can. Hopefully you said 9/10. Excellent. So we say 9/10. Multiplication sign, rectangle, 30 is going to be our new denominator. Pause the video, create that equivalent fraction. Now, 10 times what gives you 30? Hopefully you said 3. So we have 3/3, or 3/3. And then we multiply going across. 9 times 3 is 27. Good job. Now that we have our equivalent fraction, remember that was step 2. Equivalent fraction. Again, if you are studying at home, write the steps each time you solve these. Step 1, find the LCM. Step 2, create equivalent fraction. Step 3, solve. So now instead of 9/10, we have what? 27/30. Plus, we did not change 18/30. That's the same. So we leave that as 18/30. And then we simply add our numerators. Come off to the side to do that computation. 45/30. 45/30. That looks a little different, Miss Landra. No, it is. What type of fraction is that? Hopefully you said improper. Very good. We know we have an improper fraction. We have to divide it, right? So 30 goes into 45. How many times? My students, I use what's called box method. That's also in my on my channel. So we're going to place 45 into this box. We're going to divide it by 30. I know some people use traditional, some people use big 7. Whichever way you divide, do that. Can 30 people share 4 spoons? Ew. No, they cannot. So we say 0. All right, then we multiply. 0 times 30 is 0. Then we subtract. Oh, my bad. I should have made my box bigger. All right, then we subtract. 4 minus 0 is 4. Then we bring up. 30 goes into 45. Can 30 people share 45 spoons? Yes, it's large enough. So we put 1 time. 1 times 30 is 30. 5 minus 0 is 5. 4 minus 3, 1. Very simple. Now, 45/30 equals, we're going to make a mixed number. We say that, I teach my students to label this quotient. By the end of the year, most of them will have this down pat. But believe it or not, this is a common error right here, making these mixed numbers. They do them incorrectly quite often. So this strategy works. 1, that's going to be our whole number. So let's put a W there. And Remainders, they're always your numerators. So I have them to make a quick little label, and it helps them to create the mixed number correctly, okay, or the whole number, whatever the answer is. So 1 is going to be our whole number. 15 is going to be our numerator. And then the denominator is already in the problem. So students should understand you're never ever going to bother that denominator once you've selected it in major equivalent. All right, our final answer is 1 and 15/30. 1 and 15/30. Okay, this video is an extended practice. Again, please rewatch it. Study, study, study. Hopefully you grew your math brain today and you learned something new. All right, catch y'all later in the crew.